Pierre Mcguire has been fired by the Ottawa Senators, according to AJ Jakubec.
Wow.
Breaking news.
That's honestly not that surprising, though, because he was brought in. He was supposed to be the voice of the Sens. Wasn't that the whole point? Is he has all this wealth of knowledge. He is able to speak to the media because the Sens weren't happy about how some of Pierre Dorion's press conferences go. And I think once he was on TSN 1200, which was a radio station he had been going on daily for like a friggin' decade. So it was a perfect relationship. And then he just went ghost silence. And we didn't see him on TV a single time. And that was the main reason he was brought in. And the guys that he really kind of put his foot down for didn't work out.
Wow.
Right? Like Del Zotto, I think
that was the big one, was Del Zotto.
That was the big one, right? And then from what we know, Hamonic was also a big one, which hey, we still don't mind Hamonic, but
can't judge yet though.
Yeah, can't judge yet. But to have those two guys as your footprint on the Ottawa Senators, yeah, that's not great. And it kind of seemed like there was a bit of a rift between Pierre Dorion and Pierre Mcguire. Did it not?
There certainly did. I'm trying to find out.
Like, where was that photo where all the Sens like executives were sitting together, Pierre Mcguire included, and then Dorion's like 3 sections over and up above, and he's on his own. So that really seemed weird. And for Pierre Mcguire, a guy who, holy crap, you can't get this guy to shut up, for him to not be talking at all, things were weird. Things were weird
ever since he told us right away that he was hired by Eugene Melnyk.
Exactly. And then now look where we are. And Ross, ironically, I bet Pierre Mcguire would have been all over Josh Bailey. It's very ironic that that's the time, but I can see him putting his stamp on Josh Bailey and being like, this is a guy, he's a great family man. He's got 3 dogs and he takes care of them all. And just something like that. He knows the dogs' names and everything.
Yeah.
Like, wow, that's a big piece of news to drop.
Yeah, no doubt.
But he needs to be replaced. Like, this is...
Pilsy, maybe they were having a meeting about which forwards they should target, and he said he wanted Josh Bailey number 1. You're fired.
Get out of here.
Pierre McGone.
Yeah, Pierre McGone.
I'm here all week.
No kidding. Yeah, but they need to replace him, because the problem with the Sens is they're like, Pierre Dorion is just, he's being stretched thin. And I mean, Pierre Dorion at his best probably is only like marginally the right guy, right? But Pierre Dorion stretched thin, it's not going to work.
You know what the best news about this though is, right? If they start next season poorly, they can't just fire Dorion, move Mcguire in, because that would have been all-time brutal.
Yeah, that would have been bad. Yes, and that's something that everyone was concerned with when he was hired. It was like, okay, is Pierre Mcguire just looming over Dorion, waiting for the axe to drop so he can swoop in there? And doesn't seem. But this is tough for Pierre Mcguire, Ross, because he had made it known that he wanted to get back into an NHL team for quite some time, like years, if I'm not mistaken. And he waited for the proper opportunity. I know he had interviewed for a couple jobs, and I know there was jobs where he was like, yeah, I'm not really feeling that. And then the Senators, it matched up, and he said, okay, I'm taking my chance, and this is when I'm going in. And for him to get fired after one unsuccessful season, I don't think another NHL team is going to take a look at him now. Like,
no. And what was his role? Like, everything was just so weird and clouded. He did a bit of everything. And
a lot of nothing.
A bit of everything and a lot of nothing. Here lays Pierre Mcguire, 2021 to 2022 with the Ottawa Senators. We'll have more as that develops. Again, credit to AJ Jakubec for the report, and it was doubled, or confirmed, I should say, by Steve Lloyd. So TSN 1200 getting credit for that scoop.
He's probably going to go on their show today now.
Well, hey, I'll shoot him a text in the next week. We'll try to get Mcguire on. He wouldn't do it with Ottawa, which again, it makes no sense to me. This guy, his best quality is his communication.
And it's what he loves to do. Like, he gets up in the morning to talk about hockey. And
how many times is he on 1200 at an airport? Like, I'm just on my way to this city, that city. Yeah. Anyways, more. And
I was kind of actually interested. Like, I was excited about that, Ross, because the Sens were they were so weird about letting information out and telling the fans what their plan was. So I was like, okay, maybe Pierre Mcguire is a bit of a dork, or whatever you want to call him. Like, he knows way too much information and he's kind of annoying and all this stuff. But there is not a single person that can deny his wealth of knowledge and experience. Like, that is unquestioned, right? Like, he's been in and around the business almost as long as anyone. He has so many contacts. He is able to speak his mind freely and communicate through the media. So I was at least excited, like, hey, we're going to have a legit mouthpiece here that's going to enlighten the fans on what's going on behind the curtain. And that didn't happen.
The man who brought us boots on the ground, though. So we got to give him credit for that.
Yeah.
Well, Pierre Mcguire's tenure lasts. When do you think he was hired? Just out of curiosity. Pierre Mcguire Sens.
Mid-off season. I'm saying August, early August. No, had to be before then.
It was July 12th.
July 12th, okay.
So just before the draft, because a lot of people think he had a hand in drafting Tyler Boucher as well.
Makes
so you know sense. that you're in trouble when your title has 3 different tiers to it. Senior Vice President of Player Development. A little sketchy. But the first line from his press release when he joined the team, he will work closely with GM Pierre Dorion and team owner Eugene Melnyk as the team continues to develop into a Stanley Cup contender. And the only quote from this article, again, the article from Senators.com, was from Melnyk. Nothing from Dorion. Weird situation, weird circumstances. As things develop, we will have more on Locked On Senators. The last question I'll ask, though, Pilsy, and we'll hit an ad, we'll answer the question and get back to our trade targets. Shocker, never a dull day in Sens land.
No kidding, wow.
Who fired him?
It would have to be the board, right?
The board,
because that's how things are going. And Pierre Dorion made it very clear. Gary Bettman made it very clear that there is a board in place that is trusted, and they make the decisions. Pierre Dorion even said when Melnyk passed, nothing changes for me. Like, I've been communicating directly with this board. And I believe Ian Mendez in one of his Athletic articles laid out who exactly that is and what their titles are, et cetera, et cetera. So if you want to learn more about that, go check out Ian's work. But I think this would have been a collective decision, and I'm sure they probably tabled it to Pierre Dorion's desk, and he did a quick autograph on that. Let's get that going. So, yeah, very, very interesting. I'm shocked only because we didn't really hear whisperings of this, or like, if anyone's going to be fired, you don't directly go, hey, first guy to move has to be your senior vice president of player development. Like, that's the guy that he's got his fingers on everything, and he's the reason we've had 5 unsuccessful seasons in a row. So the timing was funny, but in hindsight now, settling it and digesting it, it does make sense that he's not going to stick around here.